Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of 410 Sports Talk. I am James Haskell, along with my co-host Glenn Martin, and we are here tonight on a Tuesday night. The NFL season is actually flew by. NFL season 58 regular season is in the books. Wow, it flew by, didn't it, Glenn?
Oh man, I feel like I say this every year, but yeah, this year felt faster than all the others. I mean, maybe it's because of the success the Ravens had, which tends to make it feel faster than when they've had a down year. It tends to drag on a bit. But yeah, it's flown by. And Jimbo, do you feel, just as a Ravens fan, and I know we're all happy that they got the bye, but it kind of sucks we don't get to watch our team this weekend, man.
Yeah, it's kind of bummy, right? Because I want to see the squad dominate. They've been, especially when you watch the Bills-Dolphins game and, you see these AFC teams out there that are battling and you watch these good games, like, man, you miss Ravens football, right?
Yep.
The highest quality football on the face of the planet right now.
No doubt about it.
And being that it's the postseason, Glenn, our awesome sponsor, we'll get into it a little bit, but BetUS has provided us with a really awesome competition. Guys, there's a chance for you to get your hands on 2 Super Bowl tickets.
Mm-hmm.
2 Super Bowl tickets. So we'll talk about that in a little bit of tease here.
Yep.
But DK has got that all queued up, and I don't want to forget about that. So we will talk about that in a little bit. But we got a lot to get into. Like you said, Glenn, the playoffs are here and they're set. I think that's probably where we'll start, right? Shout out, first of all, to Jim Harbaugh, the other Harbaugh. The young Harbaugh who looks older.
Domination. I mean, destroyed Washington. The as good a games as the semifinals were, the final, the championship was not the most entertaining from a competitive standpoint. But hey, shout out to him and the fact that he didn't get a chance to win it when he played his big brother in the Super Bowl. So at least he got a championship under his belt, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Now he can come on back to the NFL, come on back to the big leagues, right?
I mean, I don't know. I might want to stay around and just be king on campus. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or go out on top.
Rather than listen to some owner have to tell you what to do and work with a power struggle with a GM. Just be the man at Michigan.
Yeah, Jim does seem to like a bit of a dictatorship.
For sure.
A little more than John.
Yeah.
So it's funny to me because I feel like Jim is a lot like his dad, and I feel like John in personality wise is a lot like his mom. Obviously got a lot of his dad, but his mom is a competitor and a fiery woman too.
Mm-hmm,
I feel like John is a lot like her. And I think that those differences are what make them good at the different levels that they coach at. But all that being said, Glenn, I think a good place to start will be, we talked about it, the playoffs are set. So let's talk about them. DK, I have a graphic. I'm just going to put up ESPN and just put up the playoff.
Let's do it.
All right, cool. I'm going to put this up here.
Yeah, because you know what? We thought it would still be an uphill climb for the Steelers to get in, even though they were able to beat our backups and get the win in the final week. But man, the Jaguars, they're like the AFC's version of the Eagles. Like, they have just completely fallen apart, forgotten how to play football, and they lose a game to the Tennessee Titans, who had nothing else to play for other than spoiler, and it still wasn't enough to save Mike Vrabel's job. In the surprise that I saw that he got fired, I was stunned. Obviously,
I thought they liked him there.
Yeah, I think there's some sort of power struggle going on because you can't tell me he's not making the most out of what he had. So they end up the Titans end up getting the win. The Steelers get in, as you can see on the screen here. Let's see, that's the NFC. Go up a little bit and just show all the you don't have the matchups?
No, they don't have that graphic anymore.
That's weird. I got
wait. Maybe there we go.
There it is. Okay.
I was just too dumb to find it.
There we go. All right. So as you can see there, the matchups are, Pittsburgh has to go at Buffalo and take on the Bills. Miami has to go at Kansas City in a game in which it's expected to be about negative 19 degrees and wind chill. And also a game, Jimbo, I got to get your quick take on this. Peacock only on that game. And I got to say, I'm a little pissed off about this, Jimbo. I mean, regular season games are one thing, but now you're putting postseason games on a pay-only service. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, my thoughts are traditional cable, look out.
Yeah.
Because It's only a matter of time. YouTube TV now owns NFL Sunday Ticket, and it's only going to continue to move up. But it's a bummer. This is my real question. Whose Peacock are you nabbing?
I know, bro. I don't have one, so
You don't have a hookup, dude?
No, I'm gonna have to get on the horn, bro, and find a hookup.
Dude, that's all right. Well, I'm not gonna encourage illegal streaming. I'm not gonna do that while on the show. But yeah, it's a bummer. I wonder how much it's got to affect the ratings, because the casual fan, like the 55 plus casual NFL fan, is not gonna watch.
No, not unless their child comes over and sets it up for them,
which could happen.
Yeah,
but still, I'm not a big fan of it either. I don't like it.
Not the playoffs. It's bad enough they took a lot of big games, like especially in baseball. They took the Father's Day game. They took a bunch of really big games. But now you're taking playoffs. It's kind of
playoffs.
Yeah, that's kind of insane. But also, the Cleveland Browns have to go at Houston to take on the Texans. And it seems like the matchup of storybook QBs in that one, Jimbo. You got Flacco coming off the couch and doing what he's doing in Cleveland, getting his statue built, and then CJ Stroud really sweeping the league with what he was able to do in his rookie season, making highlight throw after highlight throw, leading the worst team in football last year to a 10-7 record. Crazy. And a playoff berth. I mean, what was your reaction when you saw who ended up getting in and kind of your first glimpse in the bracket?
My thing was that
you see Pierney, by the way?
Yeah, I was just about to say, I wanted to congratulate him in and of himself for being technologically literate enough to make comments in the chat. Like, that's impressive. I don't mean that in a sarcastic way, dude.
Yeah, man.
Staying sharp, dude. Got to keep the brain sharp. Got to keep learning. So shout out to Bob Pierney for that one. Oh, DK, are you going to throw this up here instead of me? Okay, do you want me to stop share? Okay. He's like, James, just get off the screen.
Just let me do it.
Yeah. Okay, I stopped share. I'm no longer driving. But this is what I was thinking about, right? What does a vampire do to its victim?
Bites him on the neck.
Yeah.
Sucks his blood.
Doesn't kill him, though.
No, they usually bleed out.
Well, they like to leave them enough so they can feed again, right? They can come back again.
Oh, man.
Right. This is what happened. I'm so hopeful that by some miracle, the Pittsburgh Steelers go up to Buffalo and beat them. Oh. And we get Pittsburgh in the bank so we can spank them. That's the first thing I thought. I was like, oh, how wonderful would it be for we're 6-1 against the Ravens in the last 7 matchups. Blah, 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 blah. Bring Mason Rudolph up into Baltimore when it counts. Put 8 under center and watch your team get smacked out of the bank. That's what I want to see. So that was the first thing I thought of when I saw this matchup. I mean, when I saw the playoffs kind of breakdown. The other thing, you talked about it. I think what will end up happening is instead it will be the story around Joey Flack coming to Baltimore. And the Ravens have to send Joey back to the couch to be a stay-at-home dad.
Wow, that's your prediction. I tell you, tell me if I'm correct in feeling this way. I was not upset to see Buffalo get the 2, knowing that Kansas City's the 3, and we're only gonna have to play one of those 2 teams. Not both.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's not because I'm scared of those teams or anything like that, but I do recognize that those 2 quarterbacks, when they're playing at their best, can be very difficult to beat. So the fact that you only have to beat one of them in a potential time, then they might be firing on all cylinders. I think that's certainly a good thing. But yeah, that was the first thing that jumped out. But then, yeah, it's like it kind of reminds me of our last Super Bowl run. It seemed like we kind of we righted a lot of wrongs during that playoff run, right? Like we beat the Colts, and sure, the Colts didn't have Peyton Manning, but the Colts had stopped us in years prior in the playoffs specifically. We beat the Colts round 1. Then we go and we beat Peyton Manning. We beat him in Denver with the Mile High Miracle. Then we go back and right the wrong of losing to the Patriots, of course, in the year before with the Billy Cundiff miss and the Lee Evans drop. Beat them, and then, win the Brother Bowl and win the whole thing. It kind of seems like if it's going like that, then Pittsburgh has to be the team to come to town.
Right?
Right that wrong. That's the only blemish, really, on this season for the Ravens. And sure, the last game was meaningless. We didn't play a lot of guys that would have factored into win the game. And I got to believe that the game plan was massively shrunk down and limited, but
Yeah.
it's still 0-2 against a division opponent in the season, no matter how you slice it. So
Yuck.
so my question to you, Jimbo, is if there are football gods up there, it's like they all like to say, what do you think the football gods want to see more? The righting of the Pittsburgh wrong or Joe Flacco riding that defense back into Baltimore?
Oh, it's definitely Joe Flacco. Bringing the Steelers into the bank.
You mean
the
Browns,
Steelers.
yeah.
The Browns into the bank. Yeah. How crazy would it be if he was on the Steelers? Even more wild.
Holy
right? Like,
smokes, bro.
Then I'd know for sure that there are football-specific gods. There are
Yeah.
deities that focus specifically on football.
That's right.
Until then, I'm not sure. But no, I think Joe coming into the bank would be one that is predestined for me. That's what I think of. But really quickly, we're gonna get back to that. But obviously, this is a Ravens show. But I need to know what you think about, like, if I'm Miami, I'm all kind of okay. I know I got to go on the road to Kansas City now, but I'm kind of okay with doing that instead of playing Buffalo again in back-to-back weeks. Like, what would be your preference? I mean, I know going on the road is a big deal, but taking on a team back-to-back weeks, if they would have won, is also a very tall task.
True.
So if I'm Miami, I'm not super bummed about losing. And I think they got a chance to take it to Kansas City. I think they could punch Kansas City in the mouth. What do you think about that matchup?
Well, I think Kansas City has a huge advantage being at home, being in that weather against a Miami team that's used to much warmer climates. They have the quarterback who's done it in the biggest moments, and it's pretty hard to bet against him in the playoffs. But at the same time, they've looked so vulnerable this year. Like, their offense looks like it struggles mightily. So I would feel good about it if the health of Tyreek Hill isn't terrible, if as long as Achane, which looks like he's healthy because that guy's a difference maker.
Yep.
But if Waddle can be out there, that's certainly going to make a huge difference.
Do we know? We don't know what he's supposed to come back for the playoffs, right?
Yeah, but they haven't really, talked much as they typically won't during this time of year. You have to read through the tea leaves there. But I think you feel pretty good about it from just like a talent team versus team if it was on the field. But I gotta say, man, that home field advantage is big time in Kansas City.
Huge. Yeah, that's a huge deal. But I guess my point is, I also wouldn't be surprised if somehow Miami just squeaks one out.
Yeah, I mean, they're not playing well this year, man. Something's going on in Kansas City.
Well, I mean, I think Travis Kelce's he's old. I mean, he's an older guy. He's their only weapon. There's too much on him.
Yeah, and it seems like those receivers, as much as they wanted to instill confidence in them, they don't seem like they have much right now.
Yeah, who's the dude on Fox with the long hair who's a huge Kansas City fan? He's also half off his rocker. He kind of reminds me of Skip Bayless a little bit, the way that Skip rides for the Cowboys. He's on that show with
Nick Wright.
Maybe he's on with Chris Bouchard.
Yeah, it's Nick Wright.
Yeah. He tried to convince everyone that Rice is the rookie wide receiver they have is better than Zay Flowers.
When? Before the season?
This was no. This was like halfway this. I think at one point he had 4 or 5 touchdowns, and at that point Zay had still only had 1 or something. And that was really the only statistic that he could speak to. That he simply had more touchdowns. It was the dumbest thing I'd ever heard. To your point, these receivers are not stepping up in a way that they expected them to.
What do you think they would look like if they had Zay Flowers on their team?
Oh my goodness.
I mean, let's be serious, bro. Like, they'd be, come on. That's
a different team. I mean, absolutely different football team, right?
Yeah, and we'd be way worse if we had Rice. Like, let's be clear. Like,
100%. But now I got to ask you the other thing too, as far as, I think I already know your answer here, but the 7, the 6, and the 5th seed, are there any of those games you're picking the lower seed to win? Are you picking the Browns to win this one?
I'm picking the Browns. Yeah, I wouldn't be stunned, but to me, I look at two teams and I say, do they have a championship offense or championship defense on either side? And I only see one of those, and that's on the defense of Cleveland. So while I think they have a good offense and they have maybe a solid defense for Houston, I think that defense will do just enough. And man, January Joe, man, I feel like he's going to put up 30. Yeah. So can Houston get to 30 against that defense? I don't think they can.
Yeah. That's now I'll be interested to see how much that home field advantage comes into play in comparison to some of these other well-known home field advantages, right? Because I don't know, the Texans haven't had much to root for lately. Now they've got a team. Now they're in the playoffs, right? Like they don't have a empty calories guy in Deshaun Watson. And
They're a year early too, I think.
Yeah.
They're like at least a year early, maybe 2.
Yeah. No, and
so how does their fans support them?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, is it going to be loud? Is it going to be rowdy?
Because, dude, the dog pound might travel. They've been waiting a long time for this.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they went once with Baker, right? Or they go twice? Once with Baker.
No, but they probably didn't think they had a chance like they do this year. Like,
yeah.
They got to think, look, I know we've had injuries and this and that, but Joe's better than all the guys that got hurt, and our defense is still here.
Yeah.
So,
dude, they've got to be scratching their heads about this Deshaun Watson contract, looking at Joe Flacco, right?
Because there's literally nothing they can do about it, and that is the best part. Like,
yeah, I mean, you can't. I'm wondering if he might even have a no trade clause in there too.
I'm sure he probably does. Yeah, or at least something he has to waive. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's gonna be one of those things where who's the baseball player that's getting paid to like $3,030?
Oh, Bobby Bonilla.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And now Chris Davis, and now who just got signed for the Dodgers?
Ohtani.
Ohtani. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ohtani.
Dude, all that deferred money.
10 years, $2 million a year. And then that way he doesn't have to pay that income tax, I'm assuming, in LA. And he can, make all his money after he moves out of LA, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's wild to me. But all right, so I guess your preference, of course, then would be to take on the Steelers, right? Like,
oh, for sure. Well, I mean, Miami doesn't scare me either.
And none of the teams, like you said, I'm sure none of them really like got you.
Yeah, I mean, Cleveland would be my least favorite to take on, and it's also my most likely. Then my choice would be Pittsburgh, because I think that's the easiest team to beat. I think it has the least amount of talent on the offensive side of the ball. And sure, they got a good defense, and there's no doubt, but we don't know what's going on with TJ Watt right now. If he's not out there, their defense, if you look at the numbers when he's on the field and their numbers with him off the field, it's a steep drop off. So I don't expect
well, he's going to have to be held back by the training staff. He's going to have to be restrained.
Of course. And he'll make sure he reminds everyone all the injuries, if he does play, that he's playing through.
Oh, it goes over our faces. That's why DK was not wanting to.
That's okay.
Oh, it's a big fish says, which teams would you like to see the Ravens beat on the path to another Lombardi? I'd love to beat Mahomes or Allen and then Dak in the bowl. All right. Yeah, DK, you can, dude. DK,
I tell you what, if it's to his question, I'd like us to beat the Steelers, and then I'd like us to beat Mahomes, man.
Yeah.
I want Lamar to beat Mahomes' ass into the dirt. Okay. Yeah. That's what I want.
Send him home.
And then I want the Niners. I want the Niners again in the Super Bowl, so we can shut up all their fans going, well, there's a bunch of fluke turnovers, and you wouldn't have won if it wasn't for all the fluke turnovers.
Yeah.
I want to beat them into the dirt, too.
Dude, a fluke is something that happens once.
Yeah. Every time we play them, we beat them.
Yeah. Now, DK, if you can throw that back up there, and Big Fish, we're still getting to your answer, but we are going to remove the super chat for the sake of, there's got to be a visual component to the show, right? So
can't cover up the moneymaker.
That's right. But I just got to say this, Glenn. I might be out on a limb. I might not. I don't know. I stand alone on my opinion, and this is not from something I've heard. This more has to do with the way they played us. I think the Rams are scary.
They are scary.
I think they're getting healthy. I think they got a Super. I mean, I know they got a Super Bowl winning quarterback. They got a Super Bowl winning coach. They got some players on defense. They got firepower. Dude, they're going to be a problem. I believe that they beat the brakes off the Detroit Lions. I think it's going to be a double-digit win. I think Goff is going to struggle. I think Matt, oh my gosh. Stafford, there you go. Matthew Stafford goes in there and absolutely, is surgical with it. And look, the reason I'm saying them as a dark horse is because do I believe in the Cowboys? No. Do I believe in the Eagles or Baker? No. Like, I don't believe in any of these teams on the NFC. And so to me, Dude, Matthew Stafford and that squad has got a real chance to make a run at this thing.
No, I 100% agree. In fact, our 49ers expert, we were talking about this very same subject yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And he stopped talking to me because I picked the Rams as my team to win the NFC.
Did you really? Independently, we picked the same team.
100%, and he stopped talking to me. He literally ended the conversation because he was
Wait,
so
have you
angry.
talked to him since?
Yeah, it's just we haven't talked about that. Like, we still talked, but that part of the conversation,
It's
it
over.
was immediately. You know that thing you put at the grocery store to divide your groceries
yeah.
with the person in front of you? He put that down. He put that down, and we moved on to the next topic. And I was fine with it.
It wasn't a Dwight Schrute shun.
Nope, it wasn't complete shun. It was topic shunned. He
All
shunned that entire topic. And look, that's fine because he's a passionate fan, but I still believe what I believe. I think you're right. I think they have the best. I think they have the best chance of winning because I believe in Matthew Stafford in the toughest moments more than I believe in Brock Purdy.
Yep.
And I do think the Niners have the better defense. However, I think the Rams are good in the important areas. And I think that Aaron Donald, if it's a third down, you need to get off the field. That guy is one of those guys that can ratchet up to another gear and come after you and make that difference-making play. And if you want to stop him, you better triple team his ass, and then someone else is going to make a play. So, yeah, I think they're good. I think you're right. I think they're the best team right now, and that's the scariest team when they're healthy. Just look at their record and their numbers. When all 5 of those guys play on offense, it's unbelievable.
And the thing about Kupp is he's only getting healthier, right? Like, I know it's late in the season. It's obviously the offseason. I mean, the postseason now, but, he hasn't been 100% for the majority of this season. So his impact is only going to get greater and greater. I think it's going to be interesting. Dr. Uncle Bobby says, I agree the Rams are the most dangerous team in the NFC right now. Tell your so-called expert. The doctor has spoken. Love the hair, Jimmy. Bobby always likes my hair, dude.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
For your hair, dude. Great respect.
I appreciate it, man. Everyone credits my son's hair to my wife, which, like,
dude, your wife's got great hair, dude.
Yeah, like, rightfully so, but he's got a little bit from me, right? Like,
I guess, but dude, her hair is like right out of a Pantene commercial.
It is. And the craziest thing, straight up, she does her hair at night and then sleeps on it, wakes up, and like does
I woke up like this.
No, but it's ridiculous. She does a little bit of this, and then it's like, all right, let's roll. Like, dude, you gotta be kidding me. But yeah, anyway, so that's so interesting that we agree on the NFC. I just really let's run through these because I know we're a Raven show, but I just want to get your take. Any way that Baker takes down the Eagles?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
You think he does?
I think they're a mess. I picked the Bucks to win that game. Yeah, I picked the Bucks.
Wow.
And look, I wouldn't be shocked if Green Bay beats Dallas. And I know Dallas is a different team at home, and they're certainly the favorite for a reason. But Green Bay's been playing really well down the stretch. Say what you want about Jordan Love, but he had 30 tutties this year. And that's pretty damn special.
Yeah, and their coach, I think, he's a good coach.
Yeah.
I think he's a good situational coach. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there as well. I don't know how I feel about the Eagles losing in that first round because I'm just not a believer in Baker. But you're right. The Eagles equally are an absolute dumpster fire right now.
Now, let me ask you this. Who do you think teammates believe in them more, Jalen Hurts or Baker Mayfield?
That's still tough. I mean, I guess right now you have to go with Baker.
Because I'm seeing him get screamed at on the sideline by his team, Jalen Hurts. Yeah. And I'm seeing nothing but praise from the teammates of Baker Mayfield. So I just feel like it's crazy. I know it. But something is foul going in that locker room.
You know what, Philly, though? I'm going to take the Eagles.
Okay.
I'm going to take the Eagles. I'm not ready to go there.
That's because your hate for Baker will not allow you.
Well, also the NFC South is the weak of the week. Like, it's poor.
It's garbage.
It's the worst. I think it's probably the worst division in the football, right? Don't you think?
Ooh, I don't know. It's up there. Yeah.
That in the AFC South? Other than Kansas City, the NFC or the AFC West is pretty garbage.
Yeah, I think the South's all right. I mean, they got 2 playoff teams in, right?
Yeah.
Did they? Hold on.
No, Jacksonville's not in.
God, Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Freaking suck. But they had 3 going into last weekend that all had a shot.
All had a shot to get in. Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see. DK saying the wide receivers for the Buccaneers are legit, which is true. I mean, they're absolutely
Monsters.
Ridiculous. Yeah. So that's going to be, and the thing about the Eagles, if I'm not mistaken, they're just porous when it comes to a passing attack. They can't.
Yeah.
They
They're
can't.
old.
Yeah. Yeah. They struggle. So that's going to be interesting.
Got old.
And I can see the Green Bay one too. It's going to help Dallas a lot that they're at home, right?
Oh, for sure. If this was in Green Bay, hands down, taking Lambeau.
Yeah.
Taking Green
Dak
Bay.
out there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Just freezing to death. Yeah. Not a chance.
Let's get to Asmodeus. He says, I
yeah.
appreciate the super chat. I appreciate the generosity and support as always, sir. My best friend, who's a Cowboys fan, keeps sending me trash talk about the Super Bowl. My response is if the Cowboys make the Super Bowl, it's an embarrassment to the NFC. And if the Ravens lose to them, then that's an embarrassment to the Ravens. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple things there. First of all, they're the Cowboys, right? Like, they'll find a way to mess things up. I have no confidence that they're going to come out of the NFC. First of all, they're not beating San Fran in San Fran. Not happening. No chance that's happening. And if they play LA in the second round, if Green Bay is able, no, they wouldn't be playing them. Okay, so yeah, they're going to end up playing Philly or Tampa in the second round, I'm assuming. Unless the Lions win, then I could change some things. But if LA wins, they're going to play Philly or Tampa at home. Actually, they might win that one, but I just don't see them getting past the NFC Championship.
Yeah.
What do you think about? Would you be embarrassed if the Ravens lost to them in the Super Bowl?
Oh, to the Cowboys? Yes.
Yeah. You'd be embarrassed.
Yes, I would be embarrassed.
Okay. All right.
Yes, that is not a worthy opponent for the Ravens to be losing to. The only if the Ravens make the Super Bowl, the only team worthy of beating the Ravens is themselves.
Oh, I was like, oh, what's he gonna say here, dude?
I can't even take the Niners because we spanked them.
Yeah, you can't take the Niners after you just said the Rams. But the Rams, we barely beat them, and they had to come all the way to the bank.
That's true. That's a good point. But yeah, I just don't see it, man. Unless we get in our own heads, there's no reason we should lose to anyone on this image. But I think the Cowboys this could be crazy talk. This could just be me and the emotion in the show. I think they could give San Francisco a run for their money if they got to the NFC Championship game.
I just don't see it at home. If it was at home, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's true. If it's away.
They are so bad on the road, dude. It's like they're a different team.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And it's not a big travel, right? Like going, it's not like they're going, across the country, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Man.
That's fun. It's funny. As soon as they lose, McCarthy's going to be on the hot seat all over again.
Dude, he's already they're already talking about should Dan Quinn get promoted and all this and that. And
it's crazy to me. But no, we appreciate it, Asmodeus. We're going to, Doomgoy says, send a big love from Labor and Delivery. Shut up. Man. My fiance is about to have my son right before the playoffs so I can have a watch buddy. Let's go.
Let's go, Doomgoy. And to your fiance as well. That's amazing, man. You know what? My wife was pregnant with my son when we won our Super Bowl, our last Super Bowl. So he was there. He was just in her tummy. So that's awesome, man. Hopefully you guys build tons of memories and pictures be taken galore if the Ravens finish this thing off.
Now, the only thing I can say, Doomgoy, is go in there and turn off the show. We appreciate you watching.
Nah, dude, leave it on. Just turn the volume down.
Turn on the subtitles.
Exactly.
But dude, enjoy it, man. This is a once in a lifetime experience. Obviously, for some folks, it happens more than once. But the point is, for each one of your kids, it's a once in a lifetime experience. Yeah, dude, maybe it works. Look, maybe Tanya's. We're expecting in April. Maybe baby number 2 is going to be hanging out while we watch the Super Bowl, dude. Maybe that's a thing.
You know what I'm saying? Could be. Could be. And I'm still thinking of names.
Are you? You haven't given me any in a while.
Because, dude, you shot down a couple, and I had to recover because now I want to come at you with a good one.
Wait, do you have a good one?
You mean?
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, hold on now. I'm not prepared. Let me get my notes, dude. Let me get
my
notes.
Do you have one, though? Do you have some notes? No.
Let me get my notes out, bro.
All right, look. Asmodeus the notice says, Doomgoy, here's a McChicken for you. Go ahead, dude. I love it.
Yeah, Asmodeus coming through with the money. I mean, with the food money every time, my guy. Appreciate you.
Yeah, that's so freaking awesome. I can't wait, dude. I can't wait for baby number 2.
All right. Are you ready, dude?
Ready for a name? Yeah, I got one.
Oh, you got one? Or are you ready for one?
I mean, sorry, I'm ready for one.
All right, here we go. Here we go. I already know. Axel.
I don't hate it.
Really?
Tanya won't do it, but I don't hate it.
How about this? How about this? How about this? Ranger.
Nah. Nah.
Nah. Okay. All right. I kind of like Sterling, but
Sterling?
yeah, Sterling's all right.
Nah.
All right. All right. What did I try? I hit you. The first one I hit you with, you hurt my feelings, was Santiago.
No. It wasn't Santiago. It was,
What was it?
Oh, shoot. What
Something
was
like
it?
that, dude.
Santiago is James in Spanish.
Well, dude, what are we doing? Why are you not thinking of Santiago?
No,
dude?
we've talked about that name, but
Okay. What was
yeah.
the one I gave you, dude? It was a good
It was
one,
Diego.
Dude.
Diego.
Dude, I love Diego, dude. It's a strong
I just think of the little kid in Dora the Explorer, Diego. Like,
see, I don't watch Dora, so that doesn't even at all interfere.
Yeah. Oh, just so you guys know, we're having a boy. We did find out the gender. Now, I got shut down the other day, but I like this name. So Tanya and I have always been what's the word? We've always had a special feeling towards the coastal portions of the United States. She's from one coast, I'm from the other.
Mm-hmm.
I like the name Coast. I like Coast as a name.
Cool. Yeah.
But she's not a big fan. I'm still trying to warm her up to it. We'll probably end up going just traditional family name, which is fine.
How about this? How about Xander with an X?
No.
Okay.
Well, the thing is that we've got Henry's middle name is
Gus.
Alexander.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's pretty close. What about Gus, dude?
Yeah. Gus?
Dude, Gus, bruh.
Gus. I can't because I'm thinking of Gus Edwards.
Exactly. What's wrong with that?
No,
dude?
Nothing's wrong with Gus, but like,
bro?
no. But I would, if he were named after someone, I would want it to be after someone that like
Glenn or something. Yeah, I know. Someone great.
You know.
The people's champ.
I also tried to get the name Grover in there. I like the name Grover.
Cleveland. That's the only I think of. Oh, Xavier. That's not bad.
No,
that's not bad.
Xavier
Rascal Haskell. Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Dude, make it screw a nickname. Make it his real name, bro. A Rascal. Oh, Kobe.
Yeah,
I can't. Be epic. Bro.
I can't do Kobe.
Nah, you can't, dude. Kobe needs to stay the one and only, bruh. The one and only. All right, let's get back to.
Yeah.
Hold on. What the heck were we even talking about?
We were talking about the NFC and
yeah.
But let's get So I gotta ask you this. I think we're gonna put this graphic back up, DK. And actually, before I turn the page and ask you some questions, I do have some questions for you that are concerns for me. And I need to know if you need to walk me back off the ledge or if I need to go ahead and plunge in head first. Okay. But DK, hold on one sec. I do want to go over the Gustafer. DK said Gustafer.
Not bad.
Oh, hey, look, we might do Daniel.
Okay.
You know, it's in the mix.
Dang, dude.
We can do Glenn Daniel Glenn.
Daniel Glenn Haskell. Dude, it's got a bit of a ring. You know?
Oh my goodness. Legitimately, I don't think Tanya would ever let that one go.
What's wrong with hold on? What does Tanya got against the name Glenn?
No, it's not anything against your name, but she's gonna crack up every time. She's gonna look at her kid and be like, Glenn, and she's gonna start laughing. Like,
dude, that's not a bad thing, right?
No, it's not. It could be worse, right?
Middle name. I love that.
No. Please.
Right.
Yeah. Too many syllables. All right. Let's hit this. Let's talk about this BetUS contest, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really excited about this one. DK's got some cool. You got a video, right, DK? All right. Let's do this thing.
Mm-hmm. And then after this video, we're going to get into, and look, we're not to be Debbie Downers, but if you have any concerns about this Ravens team heading into the playoffs, it's the time to air them out is now. Like if there's anything that you've been like, I know we're doing good, but this has me a little bit worried. We're going to get into that right after this.
Yep.
Todd James. I don't mind Todd. All right, DK, let's see what you got.
Too bad you're not on screen. All right, pause that, DK. Can you pause it? Okay, So sorry, I'm going to pause the commercial, but this is really cool. So essentially BetUS has provided all of you the opportunity to get tickets to go to the Super Bowl. And this is the way to do it. So one, you place a bet on any NFL line and share your bet slip on X/Twitter, whatever it's called. It's got to be a minimum bet of $25. Once you place that bet, you tag at BetUS_official and the friend you're inviting to the show. So as an example, I place a bet on the Ravens, the Ravens divisional round against Joey Flacco and the Browns, right? I put in a bet $25, and then I tweet about it and I tag BetUS and I tag Glenn.
The G-Man.
The G-Man, that's right. And I use the hashtag BetUS Super Bowl 58. It's SLVIII, ladies and gentlemen, in Roman numerals. So
you can go to the Super Bowl.
You can literally go to Super Bowl. The last time I checked, the cheapest tickets were 10 grand and change in the nosebleeds. Woo! So make 20 grand on a $25 bet.
That's right.
And go check out how to do this. Now, there are a couple restrictions. One, you have to be 18 or older. Two, you have to be a resident of the United States. Three, they do not accommodate for your plane or board. They figure they're giving you they're giving you the tickets to the game. That's what really matters. So, there's a couple things to keep in mind there.
Can you sell them?
And well, I don't know. You could probably do that, but you do not get or bonuses or free plays. No bonuses or free plays count. They have to be cash bets. So you got to put down like $25 cash money. Anyway, DK, hit it. Let's go.
Okay,
right, that was it.
Man.
But BetUS, bring in the muscle as always, Glenn.
That's right. That's right. Making it even more exciting this time of year.
And wouldn't you agree, Glenn, if there's ever a chance to put 25 down, it's right now because the Ravens have the best odds to make the Super Bowl.
Why not? Why not do it?
55% odds.
Exactly. Why not? And maybe, just maybe you'll go to the Super Bowl, which to me has become a bit challenging for the average Joe and average fan to make it if you're just buying tickets. So this might be the most likely avenue. So check it out. But we do have another name suggestion in the chat.
Oh boy.
And Daniel Jackson, nickname becomes DJ. Daniel Jackson Haskell is the name suggestion from Asmodeus. Not bad. Got your classic, got your Daniel in there. Homage to DK, which I know matters a lot to you. You got a little shout out to our QB1 in Lamar Jackson. And a pretty badass, pretty badass nickname. You know what? You laughed a little too hard about Glenn,
No, it wasn't me.
A little too hard. Oh, you're the only one on screen.
No. The reason I laughed was not because of the name Glenn. It's because I've brought up the name Glenn to Tanya.
And she's laughed hysterically.
Yes, not because she doesn't like your name. No, Tanya legitimately likes your name. But it's because she's like, Glenn is such a goofball. Like, all I would do is laugh. Like, every time I picked up my son, I'd be like, hey, Glenn, and laugh. Like,
as long as you spell it the correct way, if it happens, okay?
Yeah, only serial killers spell it with one N.
That's right.
You got to spell it with two.
But keep those names coming, guys. If you got good ones, keep them coming.
DK knows that, and I think he's okay with this. If we were to name our kid either Daniel or Glenn, it would be Glenn before it's Daniel.
There we go.
Like, yes. DK, I don't think is offended by that.
Glenn Daniel Haskell. James Haskell. Daniel James.
What have I done? What have we done? Oh, goodness.
Pandora's box. All right, Jimbo. Now that that's out of the way, I do want to, we always talk about on here that, this defense is historic. It's been unbelievable this year. It's done things no other defense has been able to do. Leading the league in turnovers, in sacks, and in points allowed is something that has one team on that list, Jimbo, and that's this year's Ravens. And so I go, you got to dig a little bit deeper, but you don't have to be even an astute fan to see what's been happening to this defense over the last 5 weeks. And so you pull up the stats and you look, they're number one still in rushing touchdowns allowed. They're still number one. So they're still really, really good in the red zone. But they're 14th in total rushing yards allowed, and they're 25th in opponents' yards per average carry. They give up 4.5 yards on average per opponent carry. Like, I know that teams like there's not a ton of AFC teams that do a bunch of running. So that's got to, give you a little bit less concern. But how much are you worried about if a team is able to maybe finish some of these drives? They haven't been able to. They've been able to get it close by the run, but we've been stout when it comes to red zone. What's your thoughts on this team's rush defense?
Dude, first of all, I want to know how you knew what my concern was going to be.
Well, I got to imagine this is like-minded thinking, and it's probably the concern most Ravens fans have.
Yeah, because little do you guys know, like Glenn and I don't have notes we're looking at off of one another. Like
right from the hip.
Yeah, so I'm shocked, first of all. But I guess by power of deduction, right? Like you can only have so many concerns. And so part of me was more concerned until you started mentioning, you kind of dig a little bit deeper and you realize that you've been saying this for a while. The red zone is where it matters. Mm-hmm. And I think the biggest issue that teams have against this defense is not being able to, sure, they can run the ball, but can they run it consistently and put together these sustained drives without making mistakes? And I think the problem is that when you're playing a really good defense like this team, who is all over the football, leading the league in turnovers, turnovers, right? We're leading the league in turnovers and sacks and everything else. Is that only a team like a 19 team would have the ability, I think, to maybe once, maybe twice in a game, be able to sustain that drive that is kept alive simply by a rush attack and nothing else. Does that, you know what I mean? We'd have 9-play drives and we just ran it 9 times. Mm-hmm. I don't know if there's a team that's built like that today. And I think it would take that to really dismantle this defense. So it was something I was thinking about all day today. And I kind of wanted to get your take on it, but do you kind of agree, or are you more concerned about it? Where are you at with the run game defense?
Well, I think you're right. And those chunk plays are more concerning because, they're quick score, they flip the field, and it's much harder to put together multiple 10-plus play drives without making a mistake, to your point. So I do agree that it's not as concerning as if we were giving up chunk plays in the passing game. Like, I love the fact that we're so good against the pass. Like, I think that's what this NFL is, and so you better be good at defending it. So I love that if you're going to have a bit of a weakness, I'd rather it be against the run, because I don't think you have to worry about the Chiefs coming into Baltimore and packing a huge run game with them. And the same can be said for a lot of these teams in the AFC. So, yeah, it's not as concerning. But the team that throws the ball even less than the Ravens could be the team they see in the Super Bowl, and that's the Niners. And CMC was having a fantastic game, and script basically took him out of the game. It wasn't that the Ravens necessarily shut him down or shut him out. It's just the score got out of hand and it forced them to throw the ball more. So maybe
that's
not
the beauty of football, right?
Yeah, certainly.
So complimentary.
No, absolutely. There's no doubt. And I do think I have confidence in our guys and Mike McDonald that they could get it done. But that's the only concern. I mean, it's like everything else. We're looking pretty rock solid, Jimbo.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the only concern I can half-heartedly come up with. Everyone talks about, of course, the Russ thing being a concern. And, I guess there's one other one that I'm also not super concerned about, but I want to get your thoughts. We've had our ups and downs, our bouts is what I'll say. We've had our bouts with the turnover bug.
Yeah. Fumbling specifically.
Yeah, and remember early in the season with Justice and Lamar and that mesh point.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe at this point I've just got too much time to, so I start worrying about things that, I'm kind of splitting hairs
Gus fumbled in back-to-back games.
Yeah. And the second one, obviously there's no excuses, but I think the rain affected a lot of that game. But
look, if we're not going to give Melvin a pass, then we can't give Gus a pass.
It's true. But do you have any concerns around that?
It's hard for me to have concerns around Gus fumbling when, it's back-to-back weeks, but that's just not Gus.
Yeah.
So I don't really have concerns about that, because I think Lamar's done a really good job of limiting his turnovers, and he's the one who's in most control of doing so since he touches the ball in every play. Mm-hmm. And so I'd be more concerned if it was a Lamar issue rather than one of our backs. I think they can clean it up easier than if Lamar was just, having a tough time holding on to the ball. But that hasn't been the case in weeks. So, I'm not really – that doesn't concern me, man. I mean, I feel – it's crazy, but I feel really good about everything except for our run defense. And also we got to remember we're getting a lot of guys back in the secondary at what looks to be a pretty pivotal time where we're getting back Washington, we're getting back Pepe, and then hopefully a healthy Kyle Hamilton and Marlon Humphrey as well. So let's see what happens. Let's see how they turn out. Mr. Gonzi says, "Sup guys? I completely agree with our run defense being a concern. You hate to see Najee Harris get 100 on us, but honestly, the only team that can really beat the Ravens is themselves." And Jimbo, you said that earlier. I think, I think you're both on to something here.
Yeah, I agree with him. I mean, Najee he had a great game, but it's hard to say that I know guys got their pride and Steelers and say whatever you want, but this is not a playoff game.
Yeah.
Simply not a playoff game. And you talked about game script being important. That's how Christian McCaffrey ended up, being mitigated in the impact that he had on the matchup we had with the Niners. I think it would have been a similar effect if we had played the Steelers at full strength because we put up 30 on him. And then what is Najee Harris able to do? You're not able to do the same things. And so,
you can't get 27 carries when you're
exactly.
down.
Exactly. Oh, by the way, as of 25 minutes ago, Fells Point is officially flooded.
Oh, wow.
I just saw a really ridiculous video of Fells Point, and it is so everybody be careful out there. It's pretty wild.
Man, that's what everybody was concerned about. It's like up to like 5 feet of floodwaters is what they were predicting.
Yeah.
So anybody who's in a lower area, be careful.
Yeah, look out.
That water can be devastating. Doomgoy with another name. Here we go. Jackson Lane Crosby? Or hold on.
Oh, that's gonna be his son's name.
Oh, shout out.
I was trying to think. I'm confused. I'm like,
so he's
how
Crosby
can I get Crosby
his last name? I'm thinking Max Crosby. Dude, I was thinking crazy.
Yeah, me too.
Like, dude, I was going all different ways. Okay, I like that though. Jackson. I'm assuming you're gonna call him Jax. Doomgoy, are you a Sons of Anarchy fan?
That's what I was gonna ask.
I gotta know.
Or is it just a play on Lamar Jackson? Like, is it a?
Interesting.
I like the name
like
Lane
that.
too. I like Lane as a name.
Yeah.
I had a buddy in college. His name was Lane. I like that name.
Yeah. And Crosby's cool.
Yeah,
Can't
Lane.
pick that.
Yeah.
Stuck with that.
Yeah, exactly. You can't.
Change it to Chosen.
Oh gosh. No, but yeah, man. I don't know if I have a ton of concerns about the turnover bug, but it does. I don't know. It gets me a little.
Yeah, I mean that can change the game. So
yeah.
And now the good thing is, if we do have a turnover, especially if it's early, we know that we have the league's leading turnover, league leaders in turnover defense. Right?
Yeah.
Side that hopefully will get the ball back, and we did see that over the weekend when we did have issues. They also were able to turn the ball over from the Steelers a few times. So, hey, you just never know how the ball is going to bounce. But I will say, what's your thoughts on the potential for the weather being a big part in this whole playoff run in Baltimore, not just in that final game where it was an absolute mess out there.
Yeah.
Like, there's no guarantee it's going to get any better come division round.
No, I mean, right now it's rainy and windy and everything else. Next week it's supposed to be really, really cold in the teens. We might get some snow. So like you said, it's certainly not getting warmer. And who knows what the precipitation will look like. Sometimes I get nervous for Lamar more than anything because I know he's not a big fan of playing in the cold. Yeah. Now, he did play in Louisville, Kentucky. It gets cold out there.
Yeah.
But that's my biggest concern. It's just the cold. I don't get too worried about the wet or anything like that, but just making sure he feels comfortable in the cold is my biggest concern. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
About you?
No, yeah. I mean, you never know with weather. It can be the great equalizer. I think it can take two unequal teams and make them a lot more equal because you never know what kind of crazy could happen. So I'm hoping for nice weather is what I'll say. I'm hoping for, mid to high 40s and
balmy weather.
Sure. That's fine. I tell you what, I'm really hoping for that weather in the AFC Championship. I don't want to be standing in the
Oh, dude, and we are going to be the first ones to feel it, boy. Let me tell you what.
Oh, yes. We'll be catching them drops before anyone knows they're coming.
That's right. Lamar's not even going to realize it's raining yet, and we're going to be soaking wet. Look, I don't even care.
We are in the building, folks.
In the friggin' building.
Doesn't matter how high we are.
Dude, I can't wait to go to a game with Pops too, dude. It's gonna be hilarious.
Oh yeah. Get ready.
Oh, it's gonna be good. I'm so excited. But is that it for us tonight, Glenn?
I think so. There's not much left to discuss, but guys, we will be back in the not too long future here to further and continue to discuss our Baltimore Ravens. And look, I want to say this. I'm not rooting for any injuries this weekend. I'm certainly not. But I'm rooting for every damn game to go to triple overtime. I want these boys exhausted by the time they're coming to Baltimore next weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agree with you there. Asmodeus Thenotis says, anyone going to the playoffs live? So we have tickets to the AFC Championship game that we will be going to. We're really excited about that. Me, Glenn, and DK, along with some other folks. But I don't know if anybody in the chat is going. I think it's going to be awesome to be at the divisional round as well. Playoff game is a playoff game. So enjoy it if you are going out there, and make sure to tag us when you take some pictures and things like that. We'd love to see it.
And maybe we'll meet up. Asmodeus is coming up.
If you're going to the championship game,
meet up with you.
Just ping us on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. Just DM us, and we'd be happy to meet up. But that is it for us tonight, folks. Like Glenn said, we'll be back in obviously in the not too distant future. And we'll talk to you soon. Wait, DK, did I miss something? Oh, wait. The competition winner. Should we wait for the next show?
No, I think we can do it now.
All right, cool. I think this is a third-time winner now, DK?
Two-time.
Two-time winner. Sorry, guys. Two-time winner. Our Week 18 over-under competition winner, Jonathan Johns. Shout out. Jonathan Johns with the win. Four-time winner.
What?
Wait, no. Oh, sorry.
Oh, he got all 4 out of 4. Okay.
My bad. DK is giving us hand signals in the background, so
we got to work on our sign language.
I know. But yeah, no. Jonathan Johns, we got your address. We'll send you your swag. You already got some stuff on the way, so we'll get it out to you shortly. But that's it for us tonight, folks, and we'll talk to you soon.
See ya.